This is Josiah Plays Tyranny. Alright, we've arrived outside of the infested old walls. There's the big wall to our left. There's some wisps ahead. And we're just gonna go ahead and fight these wisps, I guess. I'm looking for traps, but I don't see any.
I'm on it. You got it.
Your death awaits!
She's going in. She's fighting some wisps. She gives no fucks.
I'm on it. Count on it.
Bleed out, you little shit!
I'm on it.
Okay, she's getting wrecked. Without all the buffs and everything, she's getting wrecked. By triple wisp action. Wisps are immune to lightning, so fulminating them would be pointless. They're not immune to Rhyme Spike, though. And they're not immune to Aria of Pain.
That can't be done. Anyone else want some of this?
A little restoring touch. A little fro grasp. Put it on this one, actually.
Not a problem. Stop being so remarkable all the time.
Oh, some leveling up has just occurred. Some leveling up. It's Tyrannis' call. And another Rhyme Spike.
I'll take care of it.
Bleed out, you little shit!
Alright, Ab levels up. Beautiful, glorious. We'll go ahead and have Ab save the point. I want her to go to 20 wits. What am I doing here? I'm heading for empowered elements. Bonus with staves. Remove hostile effects. Replaces repelling blast with a cone. Clear Mind sounds kind of good. Nah, we'll take Elemental Fury. We'll be elementally furious. Get some extra shock and frost damage. Elementally furious. Ding, ding, ding. She needs to train again.
I'll be your shadow.
There's all kinds of craziness happening. Healing pot. That's a lot of Bane up ahead. They've got like floating little claws. Those scourges. Alright, it's time for full buffing. Full buffing.
Whatever you need.
Do I really need to?
Just point me in the right direction. You got it.
As you wish.
The full Monty of buffing.
I'm on it.
Alright, cool, we're ready to go. Let's do this. Verse. Charge in there.
More bodies to.
Holy fuck! Are you kidding me?
Count on it.
That's a problem up ahead. That's a problem.
You got it. Another scar?
Alright, she's gonna do that. I'm gonna put the vital body on her. A grave strike some motherfuckers. Frost fireball. Very nice. Toss a direct heal on her. Ball lightning. Prime spike.
Easy as it can.
I want to try Aria of Storms. Oh, too late. Why aren't those other ones running over here and attacking us right now? Seems a little bit alarming.
I'm on it.
I suppose I can do that.
You got it.
Okay. Peridot, a couple lesser healing pots, Potion of Protection, and a Bane Essence. We wait for the spells to come back. All the spells.
I'll take care of it.
All dem spells. Alright, in goes Verse. I guess we gotta fight this huge pack of enemies with multiple malices and shit. This is not gonna be easy.
I'm on it.
You have.
This is not gonna be easy.
You got it.
I'm gonna try to stun that one. She's gonna move up to here. She's gonna move up to here. She's gonna put Vital Body on her right away.
Count on it.
Alright, we already fucked this up. We need to taunt. And we need to stasis. And I need a healing aura on myself. And Siren.
You got it.
Can't move, so I guess she'll just do Aria of Storms that way. Eb's getting wrecked. Verse is getting wrecked. This is getting out of line. Is this one in a stasis? Yeah, he's supposedly in a stasis. Prime Spike right there. Fulminate. Burst. Haunt this one. No, that one's about to die. So is that one. Haunt that one.
You got it.
Alright, Verse can come over here, start kicking this ass. And Eb and Phantom Bolt that one. Wow, what's happening to Verse? Siren, could we please take this guy out? Brave Strike.
I suppose I can do that.
Alright, cool, that's dealt with.
Tear your skeleton out.
Siren is gonna Icicle Storm. She's gonna Ball Lightning.
Fire ass.
Okay. Prime Spike. Aria of Storms.
I'll take care of
Man, Versus getting wrecked. Nobody took a wound though yet. And we win! That was a tough fight, though. It was a tough fight. Drank a couple potions as well. Lots of dead bodies here. Lesser healing pot. Old water. Blood pollen. Drowsy drop, lesser heal, old water, swig of insight. Lots of potions and stuff were held by the bodies on this. Oh, I see. I'm not even going into the old walls here. This thing is just outside of the old walls. The Dauntless. Located near the old walls. I'm seriously not going inside. There's no way into the actual old walls themselves. Apparently not. Alright, here we go. Let's get this thing. Let's get it. Dauntless. As your hand touches the hilt of the sword, a rush of sensation courses up your arms, as if you had dunked them in warm water. The feeling is at once calming and overwhelming, and leaves you breathless. Breathless. If you ever needed a sword big enough to cleave the old walls in half, that would be it. Careful where you point that thing. Says verse. Congratulations! You pulled a great big sword out of a stone. I mean, I guess it's a pretty powerful weapon, but it looks filthy and probably weighs a ton. I hope you don't expect me to carry it. As you grow accustomed to the sword's weight, your thoughts are drowned out by a perpetual buzz of voices, fragments of inspiring speeches, glorious battle cries, and the anticipation of triumph to come. The feeling subsides as quickly as it struck. Dauntless pulses in your hand, its potential desperate for release. Your perspective is divided between holding a sword and holding a living symbol. The distinction at times grows hazy. Power has increased. You acquired Dauntless. I'm up to 650. I thought I already had 650. Dauntless. It's a one-handed sword. Stalwart Surge. Raise the Dauntless high, releasing a wave of energy to stun all nearby enemies. Damage increases with the Dauntless's renown. This legendary sword was the badge of office for the champion of Stalwart. So many warriors brought Dauntless to battle over the centuries that the presence of the wielder was often less notable than that of the sword itself, which steered the hopes of Stalwart's enemies toward victory. Even in instances when a champion lacked the people's confidence, Dauntless made up for their shortcomings by delivering on the promise of victory. The sword's most notable feat of recent memory took place during the Battle of Quelling Field in 398 TR. A free city's army advanced on Stalwart's farmlands and nearly won the day. When Dauntless was unsheathed, the defending soldiers broke out in patriotic cheer. This abrupt change of attitude so rattled the free city's mercenaries that they assumed their fortunes had changed and that Stalwart had gained a second wind in the battle. It was only days after their panicked retreat that they learned of their error. Consequently, the cultural significance of this blade cannot be underestimated. It's masterwork, does a bunch of damage, has a bunch of accuracy, it's fast. It dazes motherfuckers on crit. Oh, this thing's a beast. It's a straight up beast. Could be worth it for her to use this.
Shiny. I like it.
Stalwart Surge. Reputation unlocked. AoE stun. That's pretty badass.
You got it.
And it certainly looks cooler. I think she'll use it. But then Vile Tongue will replace Heart of Battle, and Heart of Battle will replace the guitar. Alright. Cool. We got a cool new sword. Although, we may end up giving it to... Infested old walls and lots of dead bodies. Alright, I need to go back to Trapper's Junction. But I might as well... Who needs to... She's about to level up. I guess I'll wait until Verse levels up. Go back for training. Okay. Let's go back to Trapper's Junction. It's always nighttime. Everywhere I go. Basically only daytime when I'm on the world map. So how's everybody doing today? Got a couple people viewing, a few people. Perhaps, maybe, you never know with Twitch. It just gives you a random number. Got another missive from Fatebinder Myothis. Let's check it out. Greetings, Seraphina. You are correct. There are spires all across Tyratus. The exact distribution of these monuments fuels all sorts of debate and speculation. But two facts seem commonplace. Most spires are built near old walls. Your mountain spire is a notable exception. And nearly every culture that predated Kairos has some local myth to explain the builders of these spires. I believe the Tearsmen cite the Older Realms as their local name for the spire/old walls architects, but nobody knows for sure. And of course, where Kairos has brought proper civilization, the origin of the spires simply isn't discussed in good company. Here's what I think you need to know. Hey, Wansen27, how you doing? Good to see you again. What's going on? First, the spires behave as an arcane lodestone. There is a constant field of magical strength around a spire. If you imagine a mystic sea resting atop our world, the spires seem to spin and churn this magic. Creating a spell cast with even modest effort will materialize with powerful results. Second, and I'd say most tellingly, Kairos has laws against entering the old walls, but there are no laws against the spires. You could infer from this that means Kairos has no issue with the lay folks messing with the spires, but wishes to keep us safe from the old walls. Or you could think like an overlord and know that if you place a rule against something, you make it forbidden and desirable. Now I find it telling that Kairos forbids the hallways that leads to the spires, but does not paint a target on the spires themselves. Last but not least, as a young Fatebinder, I once had to oversee the case of a man who had built a statue to Kairos around the base of a spire in the far southeast. I could find no evidence of falsity or slander. His shrine was the most reverent and loving tribute as I've ever seen. At one point, though, this man claimed he had evidence that Kairos was here back in -50. He had merely uttered those words, and my senior binder swung the axe then and there. Being the new girl at the court, I said nothing, but I have long wondered why such a comment should require death instead of the traditional removal of the tongue. Oh yeah, the nice merciful just removing of the tongue. Fatebinder Myothis. Alright, let's solicit her advice. Dear Myothis, I appreciate the information. Thank you for sharing. Knowing what you know of my situation, what would you do? Seraphina. 24-hour response time. Send that missive back to her. Alright, so we've already killed all of the Scarlet Chorus here. And they're all still dead. We just need to go talk to Matthias again, I suppose. Lots of unbroken, speared, impaled. These guys are still sitting here, huh? Wow. They're not real motivated to effect their escape, I guess. Alright, let's quick save. Let's talk to Arentis. I look like I have time for pleasantries. Go talk to Matthias if you need something. Alright. Fine, I'll go talk to Matthias. Talk to Matthias right now. I'm trying to remember what kind of voice I did for Matthias, but I just don't remember. So, you've returned. Have you dispatched the chorus by yourself? The Scarlet Chorus in Trapper's Junction are already dead. Could that be true? How did you ever manage? He shakes his head. No matter. I can't thank you enough for your help. To think of the fate that I would have consigned us otherwise. Even a leader may lose heart, but in my case the lapse is inexcusable. What matters is you're still free. As you have proven yourself a friend, you should know that all our hopes rest in taking back Sentinel Stand. Kairos' edict only rages as long as the Regent bloodline persists, which means that Stratus Harridan is still holed up in his fortress. Before we can get to him, we need to breach the arcane winds surrounding the keep. Read it. I sent Elia, one of my best, to Rust Canyons. She was looking for the remains of Stalwart's first regent and an item of power he carried, the steadfast insignia. If my hunch is correct, the insignia is our key to Sentinel Stand. The last I heard of her, Elia had determined the regent's last lone location, though our communications cut off quickly after that, and I fear the worst. Tell me about the steadfast insignia. It's a pin that was worn by every first regent that our histories can name. Most recently, Regent Asmussen. They wore it pinned to the noble raiment of our highest office, and the sight of that pin flashing on the battlefield galvanized our soldiers to march with pride. It's said that those who bear the steadfast insignia can trudge forward in the face of impossible odds, if through a battlefield when on a wind wall. My hope is that it can clear a path to Sentinel Stand Keep. Once on the other side, we can run a sword through the heart of Stratus Harridan and put an end to this edict. This seems like kind of a stretch. I mean, you really think this insignia is going to get us through the magical tornado created by Kairos' edict? It seems like a long shot to me. What did she discover, and how did the regents factor into this? The regents were the ruling bloodline of Stalwart, and each of them carried an item of power. All but one died during the war, and their belongings scattered to places unknown. He frowns. It troubles me that so much of Stalwart's history lies in unworthy hands. Of all the region items, the steadfast insignia is among the most storied and renowned to our people. Elia informed me that she tracked the insignia to a breach in the old walls. I dispatched a team of men led by Gregos to the task. We'll need it to get inside Sentinel's stand, so I hope you're not afraid of the dark. So where do we go from here? Elia may be in trouble, but the hunt for the insignia points us to the breach in the old walls. I would dispatch you to her aid and march on the insignia myself, but my unit here needs to recuperate, and you're not beholden to take my orders, obviously. Ooh, Old Walls Breach and Rust Canyons are both unlocked on the map. I'll mark Rust Canyons and the Old Walls Breach on your map. It's crucial that we recover the steadfast insignia, but... He frowns. I'd be remiss if I left a good captain to rot in her fort. Level up. New quest, That Which Remains. Alright, we've got a breach between worlds. You have learned that the rebels are searching the Bladegrave Old Walls for the remains of an unbroken regent, one believed to hold the steadfast insignia. This artifact is said to have the power to resist the fierce winds of Kairos' Edict of Storms, and may be your way into Sentinel Stand Keep. Travel to the breach along the Bladegrave Old Walls to locate the unbroken soldiers hunting for the steadfast insignia. You killed all of the Scarlet Chorus at Trapper's Junction, freeing the Unbroken there from the threat. Mattias revealed that a company of his men, led by Elia, are under assault at Rust Canyons and may not survive long. Help the rebels escape the canyons and fend off enemy forces. Locate the Unbroken. Mattias revealed that Unbroken soldiers, led by a woman named Elia, are trapped in Rust Canyons. Locate them. Alright. She gonna get her some more finesse. And ooh, this is pretty awesome. Counterattack enemies that miss her in melee combat, and she gets missed a lot, so 100% riposte chance. The ability to riposte can be granted to some characters through talents. A riposte is an instantaneous counterattack that can occur after being missed by an enemy's melee attack. When a talent grants the ability to riposte, it will also include the chance for the riposte to occur. Know your enemy. Or do I want to go for Unbound, which sounds pretty fun. Blood calls to blood. Brits damage enemies near the target. That's pretty cool. I'd need to spend one more in the skirmisher tree in order to get unbound next time. Mobile recovery. It's not bad. I'm just gonna get Know Your Enemy. Whoever told you that is your enemy. The next time I'll get Lethal Opening. Alright, so I have 2 party members that need to train. Thank you for your assistance in these trying times. Thank you for your help. Wrong way. Goodbye, Trapper's Junction. So there's the Old Walls Breach, and there's the Rust Canyons. Let's go back to our spires briefly. Whoever told you that is your enemy. At this point, I really don't care about time passing, so I'm in no hurry, no rush. Another missive from Fatebinder Myothis. Got quite the little convo going on here, quite the correspondence. Ah, because I have Tunon favor. Alright, I asked her what would you do in my situation, and she writes back to us. Dear Seraphina, based on what you've told me, it seems a stretch to believe these events are mere coincidence or circumstance. Kairos' edict of execution was a setup for someone to claim Ascension Hall. Think that Kairos did not know what would happen is a massive underestimation of the Overlord's long view. You have been thrust into the arena of the mighty. Your options are retreat into obscurity, suicide, or rising to the occasion. I suggest the third option. If I were you, I would use my connection to the spires to see if they will all awaken to my presence. Every Tearsman sees the spires in the horizon. If they know you are the master of the spires, they will see you each time they look to the sunrise or sunset. Foster a reputation for power. Make others fear you. This is what I've seen Kairos and every living Archon do for as long as I've lived, and there's reasons for this. There's the practical case that power and a reputation insulate you from threats. But there's the lesser-known element that I can't prove, but I know in my heart to be true. The fear and love of others will strengthen your magic. This last part I've inferred from my discussions with Bled and Mark. In the few times he has spoken of his gruesome work of slaying those who might rise to threaten the Overlord, he has hinted that it's easier to kill the rogue elements before they become famed and fearsome. In my lifetime, I saw Graven Ash change from an unknown militiaman to a fearsome general, and I can assure you he did not have the power to shield his warriors in those days when he was without title or reputation. The Archons will never, ever discuss the origin of their power, because such knowledge might be used against them. But I have known all the Archons to be obsessed with the presentation of power. Your connection to the spires will all but guarantee the Archons will want to control and destroy you. It's a question of if, not when. What? I think she means it's a question of when, not if. I think they switched those words around there, because in the context of what she just said right before that, it would make no sense for it to be if, not when. It's a question of when, not if. Start thinking and acting like an Archon. As far as I'm concerned, you are an Archon. The Archon of the Spires. We are quick to place labels on powers we easily spot, and history is replete with Archons of fire and ice. It is foolish to think that there must be a word for a thing before an Archon can control it. Other way around. The Archons show us what is possible, and we must step to their dance. Myothis. So maybe we are an Archon. The Archon of the Spires. Alright, so I can do 3 different replies here. I can ask about Kairos' wrath. I could write, Dear Myothis, thank you for weighing in on all of this. To ask perhaps too obvious a question, if I am such an anomaly, such a threat, why hasn't the Overlord dealt with me right away? An edict or just a simple request to bled an arc would be no small threat. Neither seems to have happened just yet. What is your take on this? Why hasn't Kairos dealt with me? Seraphina. Or, Dear Myothis, your wisdom on the matter is greatly appreciated. You made mention of Bled Mark and his killings. During my training, Fatebinder Callio hinted that much of Bled Mark's work involves killing off threats before they blossom into genuine problems. So it's curious to hear you second that fact. So, let's say for the sake of argument, I am some Archon. Is it just a matter of time until Bled Mark is sent to kill me? Should I be making grand displays of loyalty to the court to assuage his suspicions? Alright. When is Bled Mark gonna come kill me? Or I can ask this. Dear Myothis, I appreciate the insight and am honored by your vote of confidence. Your missive made mention of Graven Ash, and how you've known of him since before he wore the title Archon of War. Can you tell me more of what you observed of his rise to power? If I am indeed an Archon, it's safe to say I wasn't born knowing what I can or can't do, and it stands to reason I might learn something from the stories of the other Archons. Seraphina. I think I want to know... I think I'm going to go with that last one, about the Archons. Missive is in transit. 1 day remaining. Alright, now that we're back here, I need to train... What tips and rumors do you have for me? None, okay. Let's see what free stuff... Oh, look at all this free stuff. An Iron War Mace, Bronze Greatsword, an Iron Heater Shield, Potion of Revival, Healing Potion, Whetstone, Diamond, Alch Supplies, Scroll Hide. Beautiful. So much free stuff. Okay. Let's go to Swordbreaker. Seraphina needs to train, Ebb needs to train, Siren needs to train, and Verse needs to train. More dodge. We're gonna need a master dodge trainer soon, because she's only gonna be able to train with this trainer one more time. Let's sell some stuff to Revos. Alright, cool. We're starting to make some money back. We're doing okay on money now. Alright, now we gotta go to our other spire. Oh, I see! Both of these are lit up now because we have 2 spires. There's 8 more, though. There's 8 more, and there's only 3 more spires to get. So it doesn't seem like I'll be able to light them all up. You feel as if your reach is broadened. I think I've already... Yeah, there's nothing new here. Insta travel back to Sunset Spire. Yep. Yep. Back to the other spire. What's going on with the research? What's the status of your research? Happy to say I've made great progress. He beams at you and exhales a welcome breath. Allow me to show you my findings. We got a recipe for Azure Bell. With a Spiry Infirmary upgrade, you can make Azure Bell. Well, that's not... Oh, I see. I asked him to research items, and that's the item that he researched. I get it. Alright, so I can have him research another item, or we can try to research an artifact. Let's try to research an artifact. It costs 8 scrolls, but it could be worth it. So that's gonna take a while. She's the lore trainer. She can only take us up to 75 though. I'm gonna need master trainers soon. Very soon. Alright, all the training is done. Alright. $128 lore. Where do we rest here? There's gotta be a rest spot at this spire, right? And yet it doesn't look like there is. I'm only allowed to rest at the other spire? I mean, I don't know that I even need to rest. Those lore skills are starting to get up there now. So now we're going to have to decide whether we want to go to the old walls or the dust canyons first. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the dust canyons, actually. Pretty sure I'll go there first. Alright. So back to... Rust Canyons or Old Walls Breach? I think it's going to be Rust Canyons first. Kairos' magical storms bored through these once fertile hills, creating the winding, dust-strewn canyons present today. The process killed both disfavored and unbroken soldier alike, and now their corpses remain embedded in the earth. Sounds fun. 2 days, 16 hours. 2 days, 16 hours. 16 hours would be 29, which would be like 4 in the morning. And I'm gonna rest once more before we go so that I can actually arrive in the daytime for once. We should show up there about noon now. I was right. We have daylight. Hurrah! I just think these maps look a lot cooler in the daytime in their natural colors rather than with that nighttime filter over them. Another message from Fatefinder Myothus. Okay. Rust Canyons. She writes, Seraphina, this is the sort of question that can get you killed. Very little is known about how Archons are born or come to power, and my long life has taught me that Kairos and the Archons prefer it this way. If the young and talented remain forever in the dark, the old and mighty can rule without challenge. I heard of Ash, he will always be merely Ash to me, before Kairos renamed him and gave his legion that backhanded title. As a rebel, a grimy, illiterate partisan who was winning battles while his countrymen of the Northern Kingdom lost left and right. Ash was always a good leader, but he wasn't born able to mystically reach out and protect his soldiers. The earliest mention of him isn't even until the tail end of the Northern Conquest. And if you read the journals, they don't tell stories of grievous harm warded off by Ash's stern looks. Instead, they talk of his soldiers finding their fears and doubts lifted from them by Ash's presence. A careful reading suggests the ability to actively protect physical harm came years later, as that bond grew and, more importantly, as his legend grew. That legend part is the key detail. In my understanding, an Archon's power is something of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The widespread perception of an Archon's power is the very thing that strengthens an Archon's power. So in Ash's case, he had some early inkling of a power, the ability to assuage the burdens of his men. And as he took on a mantle of power and became known all around Tyratus as the next Archon of War, it soon became the ability to bear the physical burdens of his men, not just their fears and doubts. Thus, my advice to you is to act like an Archon. Take power where you can find it. Foster fear, foster love. Never walk through life anonymously, but rather live in the thoughts of your followers and in the anxieties of your enemies. Myothus. Alright, now we'll ask about Kairos' wrath. So we've already read this. Why hasn't Kairos dealt with me? We'll send it. Pretty interesting. So we really might be becoming an Archon here, which is pretty cool. We found 3 artifacts. Wow, we have a lot of renown with Tempest. Killing foes with critical hits. Alright. Pretty cool. Well, we will explore the Rust Canyons in our next episode. If you're watching the stream, I'm not done playing. I'm going to keep on playing for a little bit. But if you're watching on YouTube, that's going to bring us to the end of an episode. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Tyranny.